What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man Karzamara here, and welcome to another episode of Josiah's Grape Reviews, the first of 2026. The first one in quite a while. Congratulations, you guys are finally getting content on YouTube. How about that? But without any further ado, we got a lot to talk about for the Clash. But let's go ahead and get on with it. I'll briefly mention the LCQ race last chance qualifier. There was only one caution. It was pretty tame. But it was Josh Berry who got the win in the LCQ, and Austin Cindric held off Corley Joy and AJ Allmendinger to get the last spot, and then Alex Bowman got the provisional spot. He was the highest driver in points that wasn't already locked into the Clash, so he got in provisional, and that's where we got to the Clash. But the Clash, man, it felt like two different races merged into one. The first half was, dry. There was I think only one caution up until midway through the race, and then the second half it was just wet rain. Once the rain came, it would just turn into a disaster. It turned into how Bowman Gray usually is, and then you add the wet tires and the rain, slick conditions, the sleet. There was sleet at one point. I mean, you had everything. So anyways, starting off, Kyle Larson won the pole for the Clash with William Byron starting on the front row. Larson did pretty well in the first half of the race, but then I think once close to halfway, his car kind of started to fade off a little bit. Same with Byron's, and some other guys started to get up toward the front. I'm trying to remember off rip who one of the guys that came up to the front. Of course, Ryan Blaney last year. Obviously, he started dead last and moved his way and finished second to Chase Elliott last season. He did the same thing again. He started I think midfield and then moved his way up toward the front. But you had these unusual guys up here. I think you had Chase Briscoe up front. You had Ty Gibbs up front. Carson Hocevar had a really good race up until it came crashing down. I'll get to him in a moment. But he was making moves. He was bumping guys out of the way because Carson Hocevar bumping guys out of the way. I think he was third or fourth by the time the halfway break happened. So he had a good race up until then. I mean, everyone was basically up and down the leaderboard the whole race. I'll just get to the easy things since I have the final results here. Ryan Preece ended up getting the win. Out of all of that, out of all the drivers I mentioned, it was Ryan Preece of all people who got the win. He joins Jeff Gordon and Denny Hamlin as the only three drivers to win the Clash before getting their first points-paying win. Jeff Gordon did it in '94, went on to get his first race in the Coca-Cola 600 later on this season. Denny Hamlin, as a rookie, won the Clash in 2006, went on to sweep the Pocono races later on. So could this be a sign that Ryan Preece gets his first career win this season? Wouldn't honestly surprise me. Preece has been actually pretty solid, and we'll see what RFK can do. But ended up being Ryan Preece. Once he got toward the front, he kind of just pulled away. He was out front, and then final couple cautions came out, and he was good on restarts, and just pulled away. So Ryan Preece gets the win. William Byron started on the front row, started second. He finished his second. Pretty solid run for him. Ryan Blaney comes home third. Blaney was up and down the whole race, but once, it really for a moment looked like Blaney was going to be the guy to beat, but I don't think he ever got toward the front. I don't think he ever led in the race. Maybe he did, and I don't know. Again, I'm all off rip here. I don't have the notes. I don't have this anything. All I have is the results. I have to go off rip, but there's a lot, so I'm definitely gonna miss a bunch of things. So I do apologize. Daniel Suarez in his first race with Spire comes home in fourth. How about that? Denny Hamlin comes home fifth. I swear Hamlin was in the back most of the race. I don't know how he got to fifth, but there you go. I think he started fifth and then went down and then went up again. That just shows you how crazy this race was. Chase Briscoe was fast early on, and then once he lost the lead, he kind of fell back and was out of contention, but still gets the sixth place finish. Austin Dillon was never in contention the whole race. He was in the back and ended up finishing seventh, so congrats to him. Chris Buescher comes home eighth. Didn't really see him in contention too much. Same with Ross Chastain and same with Alex Bowman, but they end up getting top tens. Joe Logano comes home 11th. He had a pretty quiet day. He was kind of inside the top 10 and then was around there, and then got into Chase Elliott and was involved in the few wrecks like most everybody was. Josh Berry comes home 12th. He was involved in a wreck. I think, spoiler, most guys were, like I keep mentioning. He was kind of in the back most of the race. Comes home 12th. Christopher Bell, 13th. He was one of the guys up inside the top 15. The Toyota started off really well, and then it obviously crumbled just like everybody else. He hit the wall at one point. It was not good race for him. Ty Gibbs finishes 14th. I honestly don't. Maybe he spun. Maybe something happened. I don't know. Carson Hocevar had a lot of damage in a crash, and then that's how his car basically, fell off. So there was that. Kyle Larson, 16th. Yeah, Larson was up. Then I think he was involved in a spin or a wreck. Went to the back, moved his way up to about the top 5, top 10, and then he ran out of fuel. So then that sent him to the back, and he never recovered. He finishes 16th. Chase Elliott comes home 17th. The same thing happened to him. Chase Elliott started in 11th, the defending winner at Bowman Gray. He was kind of like 8th to 12th the first half, and then the halfway break happened, and then the second half happened. Chase moved as high as I think about 4th, was making a move for Gibbs for 3rd place, and then got loose, got into Gibbs, spun him around. Oh, that's how Ty Gibbs got spun around. That's what happened to him. And the Chase Elliott got involved. I think I saw this. I could see things. Gibbs kind of goes down on Elliott. By the way, there was no caution. By the way, for that wreck, NASCAR kept it green. There was a couple spins and wrecks that happened, and NASCAR was able to keep it green. But Gibbs kind of goes down and just bops Elliott out of the way, and then gets by him. Gibbs lost one spot. He ended up falling to 4th. Chase Elliott fell like 8th or 9th. And then Elliott was involved in the wreck, then another wreck, and then ran out of fuel just like Larson did. So that happened. And then right around when he ran out of fuel, NASCAR said, hey, you guys are going to refuel your cars now. Because I guess they couldn't do it before. I don't know. It was a disaster. But anyways, Connor Zilisch comes home 18th. Yeah, Zilisch was kind of in the back most of the race. And then, of course, when the wet weather tires came out, and then it was slick conditions, obviously Zilisch, the Roadmaster, got up, I think, as like inside the top 5 briefly. And then he kind of fell back too. So there was that. Kyle Busch was never really in contention most of the night. Finishes 19th. He did make some moves work on the choose when he went to the inside during the slick conditions, but that was about it. That was the only real highlight for the night. SVG, he's shown in 20. I don't know what happened to SVG. I really don't. NASCAR like switched because the race took so long and there was like a weather delay and all that. The NASCAR stopped the race when Chase Elliott stopped on the track with about 35 to go, and then they switched to FS2. And all that stuff. I didn't watch the race then because I couldn't. I was trying to tune into MRN radio and following along with some drivers' cams. I don't know what happened to SVG. Let me know down in the comments if you know what happened to SVG. Maybe I'm forgetting because a lot happened, but SVG, again, same with Zilisch. He wasn't really in contention, but then once the slick conditions came and they switched to wet tires and all that stuff, he quickly made his way inside the top 5, was leading, trading the lead with Ryan Preece for most of the second half. And then he's shown in 20th. So I don't know what happened to him, but beats me. I don't know. Austin Cindric comes on 21st. Rough night, never in contention. And then the final 2 drivers, or 23-11 drivers, Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, both of them had rough nights as well. Come home 22nd, 23rd, respectively. So that ends one wild clash, the second annual clash at Bowman Gray. How was the race? Well, it started off pretty tame, and then it just all crashed and burned in the second half. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, was it good? No. Was it bad? I mean, some people could debate it. I mean, that wasn't like the best race I've ever seen. It could have been a lot better. Wasn't really executed a whole lot better either because they had sleet and NASCAR wasn't sure what to do. And then, Larson and Elliott ran out of fuel because there's so many caution laps. Because obviously the caution laps didn't count, only green flag laps counted. So once Larson and Elliott ran out of fuel, they were like, you know what? Then you guys could refuel your cars, because I guess they couldn't do it before. So they essentially screwed over the 5 team and the 9 team. So that wasn't really good. But I don't know. It just, obviously, it wasn't executed right from the start. I mean, it wasn't really their fault. I mean, obviously, like, this race was ran on Wednesday. It's supposed to be run on Sunday, but obviously a bunch of snow hit Winston-Salem. They pushed it to Monday, then they pushed it back to Wednesday. They did a good job, though, getting the snow off the track. I will give the guys that. I will give NASCAR that credit for that. But, yeah, I don't know. It just, once the rain came in the second half, there's not much you can do, and not much. They tried. They did all they could to make the race watchable, and it really wasn't. I don't know. That's up in the air. It's one of those weird races. In my opinion, it wasn't horrible. It was somewhere in the middle. In the Grape-o-meter, I'd probably give it a maybe more bad than good, to be honest. I'll go in the middle. I'll go 5 out of 10. I was debating between 4 or 5 out of 10. I'll go 5 out of 10, right in the middle, because the first half was pretty chill, pretty tame, and then the second half, it just like I like action, but there was like too much action going on, and then obviously, like I mentioned, only green flag laps counted, so we wouldn't even make a lap, and then guys would be wrecking, and we make like almost like 3/4 of the lap, and then they had to restart it. It was insane. So that hurt the score a bit there, but yeah, that's it for the clash. Now on to the duels next Thursday, I believe, and then the Daytona 500, obviously. So we'll be out for that, but Anyways, that's it for this episode of Josiah's Grape Reviews. Hope you guys did enjoy. And as oh my gosh, I'm so used to saying something else. I was about to say, as always, I'm your host, Christopher Pan Bacon the First, but that is what I say for my NASCAR Smithfield Cup series, which you can follow me on my second account on Instagram, Smithfield underscore Cup, I think, or dot Cup, I can't remember. As always, again, clout, just as a suggestion by me. But I'm so used to saying that. But hope you guys did enjoy. Smash like, subscribe, hit the little tiny notification bell. That way you never miss any new videos just like this one. And as always, that is clout, like I mentioned. So just do it as a suggestion by yours truly. I don't support clout, so there's that. But anyways, so I'll try and keep up with just Grape reviews and NASCAR and get actual content out for you guys. But obviously, almost 6 years, and what have I done? What have I done? But anyways, see you guys for Sunday, for Super Scripture Sunday, or next week, or whenever I have content out. See you guys then.